Thank you, Session Chair. Good afternoon, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly allow me to stand on existing protocols. I want to seize this opportunity to thank Partners in Population and Development for organizing such an important meeting that is geared towards ensuring that we fast-track the achievement of the ICPD Program of Action and the SGDs. And to also thank the government of Bangladesh for hosting us and partner country coordinators who've been also very, very active. I would like to start my presentation by giving a brief overview of the demographic dynamics in the Gambia to lay the foundation for my presentation. The Gambia, like many developing nations, Mr. Chair, is experiencing a significant demographic shift in its age structure. And this is a unique opportunity for harnessing the demographic dividend for economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. This session aligns perfectly with the goals of the ICPD at 30, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals. The Gambia's total fertility rate remains high at 6 children for women for almost 37 years, between 1960 and 1997. I know the demographers that are present in this hall will know that it's very difficult to reduce total fertility. We had a reduction in 2013. It went down to 5.6, and it further went down to 4.4, 5.6 in 2013, and to 4.4 in 2019-2020. We also had a very high level of under 5 mortality during the same period, that is around the 60s. It was especially infant mortality. We know that when we have high levels of under 5 mortality, it's mostly from infant and neonatal mortality, because mostly child mortality is low in our countries. So what is driving under 5 mortality is mostly infant mortality. So infant mortality was also very high in the 60s. It was at 152, but we were able to bring it down to 42 deaths per 1,000 live births in 2019-2020. And according to WHO, the figure is even lower than that. So this is reflecting notable improvements in healthcare access and quality. The decline in under 5 mortality and fertility resulted in a youth bulge. And it's the same youth bulge that we are seeing in most countries or sub-Saharan African countries. And the youth bulge is like the youthful population, that is those that are aged below the age of 35, is 79.2%, which is very, very high. And this is also reflected in our dependency rate, especially child dependency. And as demographers, we will want to see child dependency decline, because we know that child dependency is a necessary prerequisite for the attainment of the demographic dividend. So child dependency has declined in the Gambia. When you compare 2013 figures to 2022 figures, we have seen that child dependency has declined by 10%. It was 88% in 2013, and in 2022, it's 78%. So we have seen a decline of 10% in child dependency. This has propelled the Gambia into the second phase of the demographic transition, which we call the high growth rate, signaling the window of opportunity or the opening of the window of opportunity for the demographic dividend. This was further confirmed by the results of the National Transfer Accounts Analysis that was done in 2023. And the results also confirmed that the window of opportunity opened. But it did not only show that. What the result also shows is that it's going to peak around 2035. And what we should learn from this, and I think this is something that has been said by the previous speakers, that the demographic dividend is not something that is automatic, that we really need to make the right investments. The Gambia's window closes around 2050, after which the working age population will start to shrink as the large youth cohort ages. This is what we call the second demographic dividend. And I think as countries that are just entering the fourth phase of the demographic dividend, we have lessons to learn from other countries like Sri Lanka, Thailand, China, and Vietnam, who are really moving towards an aging, or who already have an aging population. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the youth bulge comes with challenges and opportunities. And we know that in our countries, especially in developing countries, we know that we're plagued with poor health indicators, even though we're doing well. We also know that when it comes to economic empowerment, especially for women, we have a problem. When it comes to keeping girls in school is a problem. When it comes to issues around gender-based violence, we also are affected by gender-based violence. And given the fact that we have an increasing population and we have a large youth bulge, and most of the youths are moving to the urban areas, we're also plagued with urbanization. In the Gambia, with 64% of its population in 2023 living in the urban areas. And this is expected to grow by 3.4% every year. Learning from the Asian tigers and from other countries that have harnessed the demographic dividend, we know that it hinges on the implementation of effective policies that enhance productivity and economic participation. To take advantage of the window of opportunity, the government of the Gambia took inspiration from the 2017 AU roadmap for harnessing the demographic dividend to prioritize investment in its youth. This commitment is reflected in our national strategies and our national development plans, the latest one being what we call the Green Recovery Focus NDP, with harnessing the demographic dividend being one of its 7 priorities. Government has also advanced in the development of its new policy and strategy, and has just validated a human development strategy. In line with this vision, the government of the Gambia has established what we call a national observatory for the demographic dividend, and this is comprised of 17 ministries, departments, and directorates. And it's giving the responsibility to measure and track progress towards the attainment of the demographic dividend and to conduct regular research in the field of generational economy and public policy. The country team has updated the DD profile and developed monitoring tools. And these tools are aligned to the 4 pillars of the AU for reaping the demographic dividend. And we are currently working to transform the Gambia's budget into a budget that is responsive to the demographic dividend. And I think this is very, very important because you just cannot, it's not only enough for you to know that the window of opportunity has opened and for you to develop the monitoring tools and just sit down and not to invest. We have to invest, and we should be able to track investments to see where the government's budget is going, whether it's responsive to the demographic dividend or not. Another important priority, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chair, is for the harnessing of the demographic dividend is the integration of demographic variables into sectoral plans and policies. We all know that at the ICPD in 1994, we committed to ensuring that demographic variables are integrated into our national plans and policies. But going back to our different countries, we've put that in our policies. We all revised our policies and made sure the integration was a priority. But did we have the systems in place to do it? No, most of our countries have not been able to do it. So as a country, we are currently working on the integration of demographic variable into sectoral plans and policies for us to make sure that we are on track for harnessing the demographic dividend. And we have gotten support, and we have engaged a certain university in Africa, and they'll be working on developing developing the tools that are needed for the integration of demographic variables into sectoral plans and the policy. And by integration, what we mean is that we'll be considering the changes in the age structure, and we'll be formulating policy in education and health that are in line with how our age structure is changing. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the government continues to prioritize sexual and reproductive health and women's empowerment, which was strongly emphasized in the minister's statement. This commitment is reflected in the reduction, or it can be we're yielding fruits based on the results that we are seeing in the reduction in maternal mortality, under 5 mortality, and the doubling of the contraceptive prevalence rate among the improvements. Initiatives like the National Enterprise Development Fund and also the Youth Empowerment Project, the Youth Empowerment Project equip young entrepreneurs. Additionally, the SWEAT project empowers adolescent girls to accelerate the demographic transition needed to reap the demographic dividend. The government recognizes that leveraging SSTC is key for fast-tracking the ICPD program of action and the SGDs. And we also know that you cannot reinvent the wheel. We can copy from best practices that are yielding results in other countries. The demographic shift, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, presents a golden opportunity, and South-South technical cooperation offers a powerful tool to unlock its potential. The Gambia has been leveraging from other country best practices. In fact, when it comes to the establishment of the Observatory for the Demographic Dividend, we sought support from Mali, from their observatory, and they were able to support us. And also, when it comes to the integration of demographic variables, we're also seeking support from Ghana for them to support when it comes to the development of the tools for integration. So as we can see, South-South and technical cooperation is key for fast-tracking the achievements of the ICPD program of action and also the SGDs. While actively seeking best practices, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Gambia also brings valuable contributions to the table. The Honorable Minister talked about the Kabila Obama initiative. This is a very important initiative, and the way it has been implemented in the Gambia, since 2012, zero maternal death has been recorded. We're also the first Anglophone country to join the SWEAT project, so we're also offering our support for any country that happens to be fortunate to be part of the SWEAT project. We can support, because Gambia was the first country to have no objection when it comes to the SWEAT Plus recently. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, SSTC, through SSTC, Gambian young professionals are being trained in population-related fields. In fact, just 3 days ago, 3 Gambians were offered scholarships to South Africa to go and study population and development. And these are individuals from different ministries with a stake in population and development, and this training will enhance their understanding of population dynamics and their ability to contribute to the Gambia's efforts in formulating and implementing effective population policies and programs. SSCC can help the Gambia become more environmentally sustainable and resilient by offering technical expertise, collaborating on policy, building local capacity, and fostering knowledge sharing. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the demographic shift presents countries with a unique chance to propel themselves towards a brighter future. By embracing SSTC and the wealth of knowledge and experience it offers, countries can transform their demographic shift into a powerful driver of long-term prosperity, creating thriving nations where all can reach their full potentials. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much.